everybody, it's Donna Doodlebug Stitcher. Welcome back to my channel. Today is Friday, May 3rd, and I'm excited to be finally back and sharing updates with you. So it's been about a month since I last recorded an official Flosstube. So I've been having a rough time. I'll be honest with you. I just my energy level is like in the basement right now. So I have to take what I can when I can. So I did record last week and update you guys that I was going to our guild, Stitching Guild retreat in Ocean City, Maryland, with the Delaware Valley Historic Sampler Guild. And it was a wonderful time. I had wanted to do a lot of recording and take you on a shop tour and everything, and I unfortunately had some bad luck. On the first night, we left on Thursday morning, and in the evening that night, we went out to dinner at a local place, and I ordered what I thought was going to be a safe item because most of the stuff that was on the menu was fried, and I didn't want to go that route. They didn't have their salad. You know, they said right away as soon as we walked in, we don't have the salad and we don't have the soup. Okay, so I ordered steamed shrimp. Thought I was going to be fine. At around 11 o'clock Thursday night, I started getting violent stomach cramps, and about 3 a.m. I started throwing up, and I threw up for about 4 hours. Needless to say, I spent most of Friday in my room and the rest of the weekend kind of recuperating from the food poisoning. So I can't say that it was the shrimp that gave me the food poisoning, but I definitely had food poisoning. It just struck at the worst possible time. So I did get to sit and stitch a bit, which was great. I had great company. We had over 38 people attend, which apparently is like one of the biggest crowds. But it was so much fun, and got to really commune and be around some of my favorite people, and sit and stitch and look at everybody stitching, and it was just the best time. And again, had I not been sick the way I was, it would have been just phenomenal. But I had such a good time. And Mary and Sarah, who were our hosts at the Langford Hotel in Ocean City. Sarah also runs the shop next door, which is Salty Yarns. They were phenomenal. When we arrived to check in, we were given a goodie bag, and I have to show you what they gave us. This was a kit that came out at Market, or a design that came out at Market from JBW Designs, and it's called A Tisket, a Tasket, a Little Scissor Basket. And not only did they give us the chart, they gave us everything to complete it. So the finishing fabric, a pair of stork scissors, gold stork scissors, needles, all the flosses. Just blown away by this. So thrilled. So I was, very grateful to get that. What was nice about the weekend is because of the connectivity between the Langford and the shop, is there's a secret passageway. There's a secret door. If you're in the know and you are a guest of the ladies, you can use the secret door to get back and forth to the shop. So it allowed us at the retreat to shop from shop open to shop close. We could get up, take a little breather, go next door and shop a little. And the shop basically gave us a shopping bag, and we put our name tags on it the first day. And as you shopped, you just put your stuff in your bag, and then at the end of the weekend, you could then check out. It was great. I do have stuff to show you that I got But before I do that, I want to thank my friend Lisa, who is Blue Hen Stitcher on Instagram. Lisa, thank you so much. Lisa graciously drove because of how I've been feeling. I was very lightheaded and dizzy, and my husband was really concerned with me driving a 2.5 hour trip by myself. And so Lisa graciously offered to have me ride with her, and it was wonderful. The time went like gangbusters. It was like we got in the car and then we were there. So it was great to have company in the car. So thank you, Lisa, for that. And just I have to thank Lisa. Lisa's the one that introduced me to the Guild, and without that, I don't know where I'd be. It's given me a bunch of new friends and new acquaintances, and given me more exposure to the craft. So I'm most appreciative of that, and I just had a wonderful time. Can't wait to go back again in the fall for the fall retreat in October. Liz and Deb from Country Stitchers were there as well. They're a member of the Guild. They're members of the Guild, I should say. And it was great. Liz and Deb and I and a few other stitchers kind of sat in a circle on Saturday, and I got to talk to Deb and see what she was working on and what Liz was working on, and hear about Deb's trip to Germany and Austria. If you haven't already watched, go over to their channel, Country Stitchers, here on Flosstube, and watch their latest video that was just published. I think it was yesterday. And Deb talks about her trip to Germany and Austria and all that stuff. So it was great fun seeing them and everyone else. I want to show you, before I get into anything else, what I have been working on this month. The first thing I want to show you is my progress on my Halloween Quaker from Lila's Studio, and that's the design there. There you go. And for the most part, the stitching that I did prior to going to retreat was done on this piece, because I really want to get it done and get it to the framer soon. So I know that is done for this year. So let me show you where I am at. Back so you can see. So mine is being stitched on 36 count Alchemy from Picture This Plus. And I posted a photo. I apologize. I'm having real sensitivity in my mouth today. I just had an appointment this morning to see my oncologist and get my new meds for the month, or my dosage for the month. And it was good news. It was so news. So my last visit with them was on April 5th. So between April 5th and today, May 3rd, I've lost close to 20 pounds in 1 month. So they're concerned about that. It's not that I'm not eating, it's that I have no appetite. So they are prescribing a appetite stimulant to take. So I'm going to be getting that hopefully this weekend, and hopefully be, back in wanting to eat. But as long as they stay hydrated, they're happy. So I'm trying to just keep up with the hydration. So what I was trying to say before is I posted a picture of this and another piece. Another Guild member is stitching this also. She is stitching hers on the called for fabric of 40 count, and mine is 36 count Alchemy. And if you go over to my Instagram, which is at DoodlebugStitcher on Instagram, you'll see that picture, and you can see just the difference that a fabric color and count can make in a project. So I'm super happy with the way this is going. I still have just this bottom corner. I have this big motif here, and I have a big motif over here, and then a bunch of little motifs. I have the witch's feet. Her legs and boots to still do. So I'm hoping that'll get finished this month. And then during retreat, I had taken a bunch of projects, one of which was my By the Bay project, my big project, and I was going to start it, and I had initially chosen to do it 1/1 because I had seen this project stitched by Jan Hicks of Jan Hicks Creates, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So, I'm wrinkling it. Well, that's not good. Okay, so I don't know why I'm having a problem. So this is chart number 2. So this is Harbor Haven. There's 12 parts to this series. And Jan stitched hers 1/1 using a fabric by Crossed Wing Collection. And I fell in love with it. I ordered the fabric and everything and started to stitch it. And I'm not sure, it's 32 count. So 32 count 1/1. And I'm not really sure how much I like that. It's just been a struggle. It's like I went and got on the struggle bus with that. And so I'm thinking that I may go ahead and rip that out and order a bigger piece of fabric. This is part 1. So this is part 1's pick, which came off of the paper. That's what I was digging for. And I'm stitching it all in DMC. But I'm just having a hard time with doing the 1/1 with the 32 count. I might try it again before I decide to rip it out. But if I do rip it out, then what I'm going to do is try to save up for a larger piece of fabric so that I can do that fabric 32 count and do it 2/2, or might go to a 36 count fabric and do 1/2. I haven't decided yet. So that's where I'm at with that. So instead of that, during retreat weekend, I went ahead and worked more on my Lantern Lane. I hadn't stitched on this for like months, and I did do some color conversions, which when I'm done, I'll post those with my Instagram photo. But that chart is by Little House Needleworks, and you can see how far I've gotten. So I got the house finished. The house was about half finished when I started. I got the house finished, well, the second floor a bit done and filled in, and then started on the roof. So that's where I'm at right now with it. And then when I got home, because it's now May, I needed to get started on my daughter's teacher project for the end of the year to give to her teacher. And so I'm doing this by Lizzie Kate. So I didn't have any of this ready to go. So when I was down at Salty Yarns, I picked up the flosses and the fabric. So it's called for on 10 count Heatherfield. And it was either navy, they recommended either navy or woodland green Heatherfield. So if you're familiar with Heatherfield at all, Heatherfield was discontinued years ago. It's very hard to find. And I did find some. They had 16 count Heatherfield, and then they also had 20, I want to say it was 24 count. I think that's wrong. 26 count Heatherfield. And so I went with the navy 26 count Heatherfield and started stitching this on Monday, and I'm almost finished. So, and it says, to my teacher, it'll say teacher, and then her name will be here. And I have to block it out because her name is so long. I want to make sure I center it evenly. And then I can get it finished to give to her before school ends in June. So the colors that I changed on this were, it called for dried time. These are all Gentle Art sampler threads. So it called for dried time, which the store was out of. So I ended up switching to endive. And then the red called for mulberry, which I thought was more pink than red. And I wanted this to be more red, so I went with Ruby Slippers from Gentle Arts. And then the white, which is the word my, I ended up using a color in cotton that I already had. So, and I think that one is called Old Lace. So I used Old Lace from Color and Cotton. So that's what I've been stitching on this week. So those are my currently active whips, what I've been working on. I have decided this month, I know it's Mania. I did Mania last year. I didn't want the stress of that on me. So I'm just stitching. So I've kind of taken a break. I'm enjoying everybody else's Mania, but I myself am not doing that. I'm just gonna go as I go and do as I do, and I'm just gonna do me. That's me this year. So, so no Mania for me. And I know that a lot of you are at Midwest Cross Stitchers Retreat in Minnesota. I know that that Chelsea and Priscilla are there from the Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, and I'm just envious that you guys are out there and are getting to enjoy everybody. And I know that Michelle Rudy just puts on a phenomenal event. Hopefully, maybe next year I'll get to go, God willing. And I hope you all are enjoying yourself and having a wonderful time. And then StitchCon is coming up in June, so I know you guys are going to be having a lot of fun with that. Haul. Let me show you. Oh, I did get this before retreat. A lot of you use it. This is a little book light from Mighty Bright. Love this. It clips right onto my Q-snap. Super bright. I used it all weekend at retreat and only had to change the batteries once. And that was only because I didn't have a close enough plug to charge or to plug my my power cord into. The power cord plugs in here. I wasn't close enough to where I could plug it in and sit with it, so I went the battery route. But I thought that was pretty good that I got a whole weekend's worth of use with it, and then I had to change the batteries. So super good buy. I got it got this a while ago from Amazon, but I'm sure you can get them elsewhere, and they come in different colors. I've seen pink and black and this color, and I think there's a silver, but that's a good buy. So while I was at retreat, got to shop at Salty Yarns, picked up a few things. So in addition to fabric and flosses to the teacher, or to my teacher, I got this chart, which is by, I apologize, it's all in French, and I want to say the designer is Simone Monde. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. The chart is called Les Jardins de Citroulet. And it's basically a sampler with some birds and a pumpkin. I'll take it out so you can see it better. All in French, like all the instructions, everything. Had a hard. They did a conversion, both a couple of colors in Gentle Art, and then the rest in DMC conversion. And then what I did is with these four, this one here, and then these three, I went ahead and did a conversion to overdyes. And so I'm going to be stitching this on 36 count Lakeside linens in maple sugar, which I got the fabric for. And then I got these flosses. So I went with a split between Classic, Colorworks, and Gentle Arts. So I'm using the two of the colors it called for in Gentle Arts, which were Buttermilk and Old Hickory. And then it called for 310. Instead, I'm doing it with Black Licorice. And then the other colors, which were DMC, I went ahead and got colors that I liked, the tones that I liked. So I'm doing for the blues, blue beadboard, which is this lighter shade. And I'm doing Old Blue Jeans. And I really like the way that they look together. You really see them well. And then for the oranges, I ended up going with Copper Penny and Fallen Leaves. And I really like the way tonally that they look. And I especially liked because you used them both in this pumpkin. So I like tonally how they look together. So I'm excited to do that. And can't wait to try to read the French. So I'm going to be using my phone, I think, to do translation for me when it comes to the finishing instructions. Who knows? So put this away. And then I also picked up another project that I charted, which was here. So I had bought this chart from Market from Acorns and Threads, and before I left on retreat, my mom had been watching McKenna, and she said, before you leave, I want you to come in the garage. I got something for you, and I'm not sure if you'll like it, if it's too big. And so I had talked to my mom about, I had seen these things that are mirrored with cross stitch around it, or cross stitch and mirror combined. And so at auction, and I'll turn my phone here a little bit, she picked this up for me, which is a beautiful unit. You can see it right there. So right there. So this area up here is a picture, and so what I have to do is take off the framing, the paper backing from the framing off the back, and remove this picture, and instead I'm going to stitch this to go in that space, which I think is going to look really, really cool. So so I took the chart with me to and found the fabric that I wanted to use, and so this is R&R Reproductions Patriots Brew in 36 count. And then I got all the flosses, the called for flosses for it. And so that'll be upcoming start. I also got this chart, Madame Chantilly. And this one is called Pumpkin Thieves. And I don't know why I was drawn to this. I think it was the balloon and the colors. So you can see that. I just thought it was super cute. And so I picked that like on the first day. And then later in the weekend, I was standing there filling out the little papers for fabric, as far as like what cuts I wanted of what fabric. And Sarah was cutting this fabric, and I was like, ooh, I really like that. So I ended up getting a piece cut myself, and I think I'll have enough to do 2. I'm not sure, 2 projects. But this is Picture This Plus, and the colorway is called Eek. And you can see it's got those kind of like gray modelings in this pretty, I call it a sweet pumpkin because it's more, I think of it more of a sweeter tone than a warm tone. So I'm calling this like sweet pumpkin. So I decided I was going to do the pumpkin thieves on this fabric. So, and I did not pick flosses out because I wanted to come home. I have so many kind of like autumnal colored flosses and Halloween colored flosses. I wanted to go through those first to see what I could find and then fill in where I need to. So that I need to kind of do floss tossing for and figure that out. And then I also picked up one of the last videos I did in 2018. If you go back and watch those, I had talked about the Raise the Roof clothesline series, and right around Christmas I had gotten several of them, and then I was gifted the kit for the buttons and the chart for Easter, and I had mentioned that I was still needing the Santa. And we walked in there on Thursday, and lo and behold, there was one of these on the rack. So of course it went in my bag. So now I have, I think, all of them that I want. So I was super excited to get that. I did get some other fabrics. I got this Weeks Dye Works pumpkin, which is 32 count, for a Halloween small project. I also got this honeycomb fabric from Fabric Flare. A lot of you have seen that, so I picked that up. I did get some random flosses. I got a couple skeins of the Tea and Biscuits from Classic Colorworks and some more black licorice. And then it was funny because my friend Mary and my friend Andrea and I all were lusting after this box that I'm going to show you, which is a box by Joseph's Workshop. And it's got these little bee carvings, honeycombs and bees. And I wanted it to kind of be my stitching trinket box so that my needle minder and my scissors and my needle threader and my little glass, my vintage glass jar can all kind of be contained in one area and not be spread all over the end table. So I got that. And then I also got this. Mary and I both got the same needle threader, Thread Keep, which just recently came out, and it's by Retromantic Fripperies. I hope I said that right. But it's laser cut wood and with the truck design. She just recently came out with this and had it on her Instagram, and I was like, I just bought that this weekend. But I love this. It's got the, your thread keep here. It's got a ruler on the back, and it has a magnet here for your needle. So it's like a needle keep. Super, super cute. So in all, had a wonderful time at retreat with the folks there, and really enjoyed myself. I am going to try and rest this weekend. I hope to get the To My Teacher done this weekend, perhaps, and maybe do a little bit of stitching on my Halloween Quaker. It's supposed to be cool and rainy here, hence why I'm wearing my sweatshirt. I feel like I haven't taken this thing off at all since I've gotten home. It's just been so cold. I do hope to be back weekly. I don't want to promise anything because, again, it's all about how I feel. But I'm going to take it day by day, and hopefully you will see me each week. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're joining me and a faithful viewer, thank you so much for coming back and sticking with me. So with that, I'm going to sign off and say goodbye and happy stitching, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.